Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jordan. I'm a career and confidence coach helping 9-to-5 professionals looking to pivot into new industries. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn and what you actually need to do before you start utilizing or reutilizing your LinkedIn. This is a 3-part series and this is part 1. So let's get started. LinkedIn is a premier social networking site for professionals. So if you aren't using it, you definitely want to get on that. But there are a few things that we really want to look at before we start pushing people to our LinkedIn and effectively utilizing our LinkedIn to land job opportunities and other opportunities, whether professional or personal. Your LinkedIn is really a story about you and what you've done in your career. So the whole thing should really reflect on you, your accomplishments, and your experience. Sometimes what I find when people are trying to pivot or go into a new industry is that they have talked about what they've done, which is awesome, which is what you're supposed to do, but they don't talk about it in the context of where they're going. So for example, if you are in HR trying to go to tech, you talk about all the HR things you did because that's what you've done and that's what you're supposed to do. But in the context of tech, what are the skills in HR that you have cultivated and grown that are gonna work in the tech world? And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like coding or anything of that nature, but things like managing projects, collaborating with people, being a leader. Like, what type of skills that you have that are going to be reflected in your LinkedIn profile that actually are desired in tech, right? Because a lot of times, for example, we sometimes think tech is a bunch of dudes sitting behind screens in like a dark room being creepy, but there's also that person, what people don't think about is there's that person, that go-getting boss that might not have every single tech skill that everyone else has on this level, but he, whatever, knows how to manage the people that are sitting in, the dark rooms on their computers. So maybe you're the manager type where you have to learn the skills, where you have to learn a bit of the skills, but you're better at managing projects and putting teams together versus the actual coding. That really works across any industry. So you really want your LinkedIn profile to not only reflect what you've done, but then also move into what you want to do. You've gotten into your job search or you're just setting it up and you know that you want to use LinkedIn. The first thing that you want to do is to revamp your profile if you haven't already. And when I say revamp your profile, there's a couple of different things that you can do. I have a complete breakdown, a better breakdown in the video here, and I will leave that for you to watch after this video. But in revamping your profile, you want to focus on the main aspects of LinkedIn. So you want to focus on your picture, your banner, your headline, your summary, your education, your recommendations, things like that. So you want to go from the top of your LinkedIn profile all the way down to the bottom, and you want to revamp, especially if you haven't done it in a while. You want to start adding in your jobs that you previously had if you haven't updated that already. You also want to start utilizing your featured section, whether that be adding portfolios or your own thought pieces or your own content. So these are just a couple of things that you want to think about before you start utilizing your LinkedIn. You can definitely still continue your job search, or even begin your job search if you haven't done these things, but you want to get them done. You want to get them done as you keep going, because people being recruiters and hiring managers are going to go and look at your LinkedIn to kind of get a feel for you, your career story, and the skills and abilities that you possess. Number 2, you want to work out a networking strategy. And this is where things get a little bit more technical, because you don't just want to reach out to any and everybody, because while it's great to make connections, we want this to ultimately land you a job. And so when you're working out your networking strategy, you want to do a couple things. First, you want to be clear on the industry and our role that you're going into. A lot of times what I see with clients or potential clients is that they just say, I'll do anything, or they'll say, I have X, Y, and Z skills, what can I do? The bare bones minimum of what you can do to get started is to kind of figure out which path you want to go down, right? Because a GPS, for example, GPS can only take you where you put in the coordinates. So if you don't know where you're going, GPS can't help you. If you don't know where you're going in terms of your career path, or have some kind of idea or semblance of where you're going, it's really going to be hard for you to set a course and really get your networking strategy really dialed in. And so if you want to know how to make connections on LinkedIn, I would suggest you check out this video and after this one, and it'll help you making connections on LinkedIn. In terms of strategy, you really want to look at who you're trying to reach out to based on your desired industry and your skills. Remember, you have skills and the desired industry that you're looking into wants skills. Now, if those two match, bravo. If they don't, then we need to do some configuring so that the skills that you have match the desired industry that you want to be in. Lastly, I wanted to kind of separate this point from the last point because the barrier of entry is lower. And so I want you to use your existing network. I say existing network because a lot of times we have people in our lives that we don't even think about when it comes to our job search. Obviously, you want to be comfortable in letting people know that you are searching for a role. But when it comes to networking, you want to use your existing network to help catapult you into rooms and spaces where you may not be able to get into yourself. And so you want to start inwards and work outwards. So if you have a friend, a family member, an acquaintance at work, a colleague at school, something like that. So kind of feeling out your network and getting a feel for where you can start, because you never know who you know knows. You never know who you know knows. Hopefully that made sense. But Editing Jordan here. If you are interested in learning how to pivot into a new industry, even if you feel like you don't have the experience or 1,000 other different things that you tell yourself, make sure you look down in the description because I have my Pivot with Purpose Masterclass, and it's going to be telling you basically how to go from I don't even know what I want to do to I'm gonna be able to land this job. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. But you never know who someone that you know knows, and so you want to start inward in your circle and then work your way out. That way you're not kind of feeling jittery or nervous about talking to complete strangers. Now, if you want to incorporate strangers into your networking strategy, then you're definitely going to want to, one, like we said, figure out what you want to do, who you need to talk to, and then there's going to be some things that you need to do after that, but we'll talk about that in part 2 of this video. If you liked the start of this series, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more information on career growth, a little personal development as well as professional. And make sure you comment below on, do you have a LinkedIn? Do you use it? Let's just start there. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure you go and check out part 2 of this series, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.